Hey everyone, welcome back to MLOps. In this video, we'll be continuing with our series on machine learning operations with Apache Airflow. So this is the part 2 of the series where we'll be discussing about data ingestion. So in the previous video, we discussed about what is DAG, what is Python operator, what is bash operator, and we also discussed about task dependency with the help of greater than and less than operators. And we also discussed about XCOM, which is typically used for moving data from one task to another. Now, as part of this tutorial, we'll be focusing on Taskflow API, short circuit operator, and Parquet format. So now let's jump into our tutorial. So let me go to the second tutorial here. Close this down, close this down. So here, if you notice, these are the concepts we'll be covering. First is the Taskflow API, which is basically your task decorator, which will turn your Python function into a task in your DAG. And then comes our short circuit operator, which will be used for skipping the downstream task based on a specific condition. So what I mean by that is, consider you have created a DAG, and a DAG is nothing but a workflow. So in that workflow, you will have multiple tasks. So if one of the tasks fails based on a certain condition, then rest of the tasks are skipped. That's what we'll do with the help of short circuit operator. And then we'll also discuss about file sensors and data validation, and we'll also store the processed data as a Parquet file. So Parquet file is an efficient way of storing our data such that it will consume less memory. Now with that, let us get into the core implementation of our script. So first is we import all the necessary modules. So we import OS, JSON, logging, and then we have date, time, and path. Path is typically used for manipulating the folders in your file system. Date time is used for getting the current date time. And once you have imported this, then you have your NumPy and Pandas, which is used for creating and manipulating the data set. And then we import modules from Airflow, through which we'll be creating DAG and transforming your Python function into DAG's task. And then we have short circuit operator, which is used for skipping the downstream task if a specific condition is failed. And then we have bash operator, which is used for running the shell commands in our Python script. And in the next step, what we do is we create our logger, which is used for logging the information as part of our execution. And then we set our configuration where we take our project root, which is the root directory. And then inside the root directory, we have a data directory, inside which we'll be creating raw and processed data folder. So once you have created this, then we have our default argument, which is applied across all the tasks that will be running as part of our DAG. So this will be containing information like who's the owner, what number of retries we want to do, and the retry delay, which is set as 5 minutes. Now coming to our generation of synthetic data set. So here we create a function called make housing dataset, which takes in two parameters. One is n samples and the other is seed. Seed is used for reproducing the same experiment, and n sample is the number of records that you want to create. And this function will return pandas data frame. So here first we create all the columns, which will be your features on which you will be training your model on, and we'll be turning this NumPy arrays into your pandas data frame here. So once you have created your function for creating the data set, then comes your Taskflow task. So with the help of a task decorator, we'll be transforming our Python function into task function, and we'll be passing the task ID here, which is create directories. So this function will be creating the directories inside our parent folder, which was this. Inside this folder, we'll be creating raw directory and processed directory. And once you have created directories, then comes your ingest raw data. So this is where we'll be making call to this function, and we'll be saving it as a CSV file here. And this is the name of the file. And along with this CSV file, we'll create a JSON file, which will represent the metadata of our data frame. So it contains rows, the columns, and the ingested at time, and what is the source of the data. This is for creating data set. And next comes our validation of raw data. So this is where we pass our raw path of the file, which is the CSV path, which we created earlier. So here we first load the file and we'll be validating the specific data frame across 4 conditions. And if any of those conditions are failing, then we'll be raising it as part of our issues inside the issues list. So first we'll be checking whether the number of rows in our data frame is less than 100. If yes, then we'll be raising an issue. And if the required columns are not present, then we'll be raising an issue. And if the null rate in our critical column, which means like the number of empty values present inside our column, is greater than 10%, then we'll be raising issues. And next we check whether the price is less than equal to 0. If it is, then we'll raise an issue. And once we have checked all these conditions, we'll be creating report, and as part of this dictionary we'll have total rows and null rates and issues, and finally we have passed, which represents whether there was an issue or not. And we'll be saving this report as part of this JSON file, validation_report. If issues are present, then we'll raise the warning, otherwise we'll paste the info. And finally, when the call is done to the specific function, we'll be returning report of passed, which will be the Boolean value, true or false. And next comes our function, which is not our DAG function. It is a normal Python function. And this will be taking value from the specific task. So with the help of xcom pull, which is used for moving data from one task to another, so we'll be pulling this specific result, which is this one, into this task. This task is check validation passed. So we'll be getting either true or false here. If it is failing, then we'll be triggering this short circuit operator, which will skip all the downstream task. So next comes our function or the task, which is called as process and clean. Here we take the raw path and we load this file with the help of pandas, and we'll be filling our null values with some median value here for the specific column. And then comes your feature engineering, which will be applied across multiple columns. And then we'll be storing this file as a packet format inside the specific directory. So once this is done, then comes our generate EDA stats. So we'll be reading the packet file, which we have stored here. And this is the path of that location where we have stored the packet file. And we'll be taking our processed path here and reading the packet file, and we'll be generating the stats for our specific data frame, and that will be stored as JSON file here, EDA_stats. So this is all the tasks that we have created. So one is generate EDA, then comes process and clean, then we have the short circuit operator, which is the check validation passed. And here we have validation raw data, and we have ingest raw data, and we have create directories. Okay, these are the different tasks that we have created. Now we have to combine all these tasks as part of the DAG. So here comes our DAG definition. So in the DAG definition, we represents the DAG ID, then comes our description of the DAG, and then comes our default argument, which we have already declared earlier, and then we set the schedule for the interval, which is weekly. So we want to weekly run the specific DAG, and then we set the start date as 24/1/1, and we set catch up is equal to false. So if you set catch up is equal to true and you haven't run this DAG for 2 days before this specific start date, then you will run this DAG for 2 times, and then you will be starting it for the start date. And we also set some tags for this specific task. So we have tutorial, basic, level 2 data. And inside this DAG, we have first call to the create directories, and then we have ingest raw data, and then we check validate raw data, and we pass the raw path. So for this specific function call, we get the raw path, and that raw path is sent as input to this specific function, and we'll get the valid as either true or false. And here we have a short circuit operator where we'll be going either to the downstream task or not based on this validation. Okay, so whether the validation is passed or not, if it is passed, well and good, it will go here. Otherwise, it will skip all the downstream tasks and it will be closing this specific execution. If this check validation passed is true, then we'll be coming to proc, which is the process and clean. Here we take the raw path of the file and we'll be getting our packet file. And here we'll load that packet file and generate the EDA stats. And finally, we have our dependency chain, the way the flow will work. So first we'll be creating the directory, and then we'll be having our files created here, and then we'll validate those files, and we'll have the short circuit operator if it is passed or not. Based on this, we'll be moving towards this downstream task. So this is with respect to the tutorial for this specific data ingestion task. Now let me go to the terminal and execute the specific DAG. So first I'll be going to the virtual environment, bin activate, and once we have went to our virtual environment, we can go to the readme and take the initialization of Airflow here and copy paste this, copy this and paste it here. So this will set the Airflow platform inside our virtual environment. Now once this is done, we have to start our Airflow web server, which can be done with the help of Airflow web server --port 8080. So this will start the Airflow web server. Now I'll create another terminal and switch to MLOps Airflow bin activate, paste the Airflow initialization here, and I'll be starting my Airflow scheduler here. So Airflow scheduler, this will be used for triggering the DAGs, so that's why we have to enable Airflow scheduler. Now once these two are up and running, you can go to the browser, incognito mode, localhost 8080, and you will have the sign in page coming up where the username is admin and password is also admin, and sign in. So here if you notice, for the data ingestion task there is no runs available. So let me go to the terminal again, go to new terminal, switch to MLOps Airflow bin activate, clear this. Now I'll be running this specific command which I have written here at the top. So if I just copy this here and paste it here, so this will start the DAG, which is the for data ingestion. So if I just go to the browser again, now you will see that this task should have executed. So initially it will be in queued state, and then it will be moving to the running state, and it will be then moving to the success state. So it didn't take much time here, so it has executed. So if you go and check inside our folder structure here, we'll have data, and we have our processed data, which is a Parquet file, and then we have a raw data which we created with the help of NumPy and Pandas, and it contains our metadata here. So the number of rows is 2000, the different columns that we created and the time we ingested, and then we have our raw CSV file here, and here we have our EDS stats. Here we contain for every column what is the statistics, so we can see it here, and then comes our validation report which shows whether there is any issues or not, and we can see the total number of rows, the null rate is less than 10%, and we get our passed as true here. So this is what we wanted to get from our script, so we got all that. So let me go to the readme file here, and let me go here, pull this up. So the intention behind this video was to understand Taskflow API, so that's where we made use of task decorator. Then comes our short circuit operator. So if you go here and went down to the DAG, and that's where we called our short circuit operator. So this is where we called our short circuit operator, where we call this function check validation passed, and if it was failed or passed, based on this we move to the downstream task. So we have seen this, and then we came to the Parquet format where we turned our pandas data frame into Parquet file, and then we got the EDS stats. So we are almost done with our second tutorial. So with this, I'll be concluding this video. Thank you for watching.